shake them off. Welcome to Wake Up Happy Sis, the show that jumpstarts your day with a bang. We're strolling down these self-care streets as we navigate the maze of wellness and healing. We're helping you live happy, healed, and whole. And we do it all with a hearty dose of belly laughs for good measure. Stay tuned and get ready to wake up happy, sis. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, boos, hey. It's your girl, Leanne Dulce, Chief Self-Love Officer over here at Wake Up Happy Sis. And I want to welcome you to another episode of the Wake Up Happy Sis show. We are broadcasting live on KCCR Cityscape Radio, where we are changing the narrative for our people because we are unapologetically telling our story our way. So today, we're changing the narrative again because we're talking Black history, baby. Yes. Our episode today is Heartbeats of History. We're celebrating Black women's influence and ingenuity. And we're diving into the soulful journey of Black women's remarkable contributions across history and even today. So we're talking about some powerful historical women, but also a few of our modern day mavericks that are helping transform our world. Hey to all my people over in TikTok land and on Instagram. Love y'all. Thank you for joining. So I want you to get comfortable. You know what we do here. Get your morning cup of joe, of tea, or whatever you want to drink in the morning. I ain't here to judge. And as you're gearing up for the day, join me as we celebrate the extraordinary lives of Black women who shaped and continue to shape our history. Because, as I've said before, if we're not telling our history, it won't be the same in 50 years. They're rewriting our history books. They're rewriting slavery as if we came here by our own choice, right? So we have to be the ones to tell our story, because if we don't, nobody will. So let's go ahead and get started. So obviously, we're going to start with some trailblazers of the past. And if you have a few trailblazers, historical people that you love, you want to shout out, go ahead. Get on our comments. Let us know. I'll read some of your comments on the show. I want to start by paying homage to some iconic Black women who laid the foundation for our history. Now, obviously, this is not an exhaustive list. It can't be, because there are too many Black women who have paved the way and who have really been pivotal in our history. But we're talking about women who dared to dream, to fight, and to achieve in times when their voices were silenced, right? We're talking about from Stagecoach Mary's bold strides to Zora Neale Hurston's literary genius, each story being a testament of the courage and the resilience that defines Black womanhood. So I want you to get ready to be inspired. And again, if you got somebody you want us to shout out, you've got a comment about a historical figure that was important in your life, let's do that. So the first we're going to talk about is Stagecoach Mary. Okay. And her literal given name was Mary Fields. And she was the first African-American woman star route mail carrier in the United States. And I know you're like, what makes her so fabulous? It was her resilience and her grit in a very white, male-dominated world that really set the tone for future generations. Okay. Hey, Connie, welcome. Hey, Anna, welcome, welcome. Now, again, known as Mary Fields, she broke barriers in the late 1800s because she was the first African-American woman star route mail carrier. Now, Mary wasn't a little woman. She stood 6 feet tall, and she was known for her toughness. And despite being in the harsh Montana conditions, and if y'all know anything about winters in Montana and up there, it's nothing fun. She never missed a day of work. Now, she symbolizes resilience, challenging gender and racial stereotypes in a time when neither were welcomed, right? We were not welcome in any roles. They didn't even want us here outside of being their maids. So we have to really, really pay homage. And I'm trying to send this out. We have to pay homage to these women who have been trailblazers in our history. And I want to talk about these women who are the ones you don't hear about every day. I know growing up, I never heard about Stagecoach Mary, right? But she is a figure of resilience and strength because she overcame adversity and she broke so many barriers. Do you know what a woman in the 1800s had to deal with? Let alone being a mail carrier. She had tenacity, she had courage, and she refused to be confined to societal expectations and limitations of the most you'll ever be is somebody's maid, house cleaner, taking care of their kids. Mary was born into slavery in Tennessee about 1832 or so. And she gained her freedom following the Civil War. Now, her early years, we don't really know a lot about her early years, but what's known is that she always embodied a spirit of independence and strength. After the war, she headed north, and that's when she found her way to Montana, Cascade County to be exact. And that's where life would take a turn for her, and her name would be forever etched into our history. She began working at St. Peter's Mission after reconnecting with a friend from her past, Mother Amadeus. Now, she made her presence at that mission well known. She was remarkable. She was super tall. She did all the heavy lifting, building maintenance. So she was one tough cookie. But her most notable achievement came in the 1860s when she became the first woman to work as a mail carrier for the United States Postal Service. Now, that's a major thing. She had a government position. And she became Stagecoach Mary because how did they deliver the mail back then? She drove a stagecoach. She was awarded the contract because she was the fastest applicant to hitch up a team of 6 horses. Over all the men, she was the fastest one to hitch them up. Baby, she was tough. Let's be clear, she was tough. But it's not like it was easy for her, right? She's working in some blizzards, sweltering heat, and she never missed a day of work. How many of us can say that? Hell, sometimes we get a little cold and we want to stop, right? So her dedication to her role was emblematic of her character, unyielding, dedicated, and resilient. And I think that's important for us in today's times, modern times. We need strength, we need resilience, we need tenacity. Her life, all throughout her life, she was breaking free from chains of oppression and societal expectations and limitations on who and what a Black woman could be. But her legacy goes beyond the mail route. She represents the courage to defy all odds and the power of living authentically. She was authentically her baby every single day. And that's one thing I love. Because think about it. She was a Black woman navigating a male dominated and racially prejudiced society, not just industry, but society, where back then the most you could do was be somebody's maid. Think of the color purple. Your children are so well behaved. Would you like to be my maid? Come on now. That's all they thought of us. But for us, embracing the spirit of Stagecoach Mary means recognizing our own strength and our potential to overcome any barrier that is coming in our way. It's about carrying forward her legacy, right? We have to carry that legacy with us. We have to be resilient. We have to be ready to break down those barriers and say F you to societal expectations of who we can be. They're always trying to tell us who we can be and we're less than somebody else. You know, in the corporate world, we typically have to work 2 and 3 times harder just to be seen as an average person sometimes. Well, damn it, we're done with that. We're going to embrace this spirit of Stagecoach Mary and learn that our resilience, our tenacity can take us to any heights that we want. She reminds us that our journeys, while they're unique, are always interconnected by threads of courage, by our struggles, but also by our triumphs. We're going to stop being defined and limiting ourselves to the trials and our traumas that we go through. They're just small little pieces of who we are. They don't define us. And I think we have to remember that we are so much more than the things that we've been through. Now, if a woman in the 1860s can come and dominate in a white male field where you know she was hated on, you know she was threatened, and she still did her job, showed up every day, could hitch up her stagecoach faster than any man. Come on now. Come on now. I love it. She is the strength that Black women possess, that we've always had to possess, that sometimes we forget we have. We're not given the opportunity to show that, or we're seen as negative. We're seen as angry Black woman. Call me what you want. Just don't call me late for dinner and don't call me late for my check. Boom. So the next person I want to talk about is Mary McLeod Bethune. And I've met one of her descendants, Dr. Evelyn Bethune. And so we're going to talk about her. I think it's her grandmother or great great grandmother. Great grandmother. So let's talk a little bit about her. Mary McLeod Bethune was daughter of former slaves, but she became one of the most important Black educators, civil and women's rights leaders, and government officials in the 20th century. Right? Hold on. I'm telling you, I'm trying to get these people in the room because how you going to miss all this Black girl magic that I'm sprinkling on y'all today? She founded the Daytona Normal and Industrial Institute in 1904, which later became Bethune-Cookman University. Her life's work emphasized the power of education as a tool for racial advancement. But let's dig a little bit deeper into who Mary McLeod Bethune was. She was born, she's a Cancer baby. I'm a Cancer. She was born July 10th, 1875 in Maysville, South Carolina. And she was the 15th of 17 children. Baby, you know they was having children. They had large families back then. But despite the constraints of the post-Civil War South, her parents, who were former slaves, instilled in her the value of education as a path to freedom and empowerment. With the help of different scholarships, she attended Scotia Seminary, now Barber Scotia College in Concord, North Carolina, and later Dwight Moody's Institute for Home and Foreign Missions in Chicago, Illinois. These experiences shaped her understanding of the transformative power of education, and they were pivotal in her being one of our strongest women in history. In 1904, she had a vision to provide African American girls with the education that was often denied to us. Slavery, they didn't want us to learn how to read, but we did. We came to a country not even knowing the language, and we learned the language, we learned to read. You can't tell us that as a people we are not strong, we are not intelligent, regardless of what they try to say to us and about us. But she realized that she wanted to be a change agent. Okay. She was a world changer at a young age. She founded the Daytona Literary and Industrial Training School for Negro girls in Daytona, Florida, with just $1.50, baby. Her faith and 5 little girls as her first students. Now, her school would eventually become Bethune-Cookman University when they merged with Cookman Institute in 1923. Her leadership and vision were instrumental in creating an institution that stood as a fortress against racial and gender discrimination. Oh, Suki, now we have a guest coming in the building. If my computer want to act like it's got some sense today. Welcome, Dr. Clark.
Hey. Hey.
Y'all join me in welcoming Dr. Clark to the show. My computer is acting
It's not you. I think it's the system. Good morning. I was listening in while you were talking about Stagecoach Mary.
Yes.
And you were talking about women in Black history.
Yes, because I want our little girls to know how strong and powerful that we are. I want, our view here at Cityscape Radio and in Brownstone Worldwide is that we have to tell our stories. We have to put our history out there because they're trying to change it every day. You look at how they're trying to change slavery and say it never happened.
Oh my God.
We were just visitors
today.
Who came. Look, we were visitors who came and never left. What? Y'all gonna really try and play that narrative with us?
It's disgusting.
My whole browser has just literally frozen up. I don't know what's going on today. Like I can hear you, but I can't see you. Well,
I don't know why, because I see you.
Yeah,
I see you. Yeah, I see you sitting up in here looking like 2 big Barneys.
Look, I was about to say the same thing, Paulette. I was about to say the same thing. But we talk about Mary McLeod Bethune now, who was a transformative leader in the education of young Black women and the founder of Bethune-Cookman College. And I've had the pleasure of meeting one of her granddaughters, Dr. Evelyn Bethune. And what I want people to get out of this episode today is that we are so much more than the limitations that the world society tries to put on us. And that we have such a rich history of influential Black women as we start off. And what better way to kick off Black History Month than talking about some amazing women in our history, right? I want people to know that we come from such a rich stock.
Yeah, we do. Amen.
And so when we talk about, okay, something happened. There was a little movement. I think we might be trying to get a little movement over here. If it disconnects me, just talk about yourself for a minute and tell them all about you if it disconnects me, Paulette, while I restart. But we're gonna keep talking about Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune. So if we look at who she was, right? In 1935, so not only did she start the school, but in 1935, she started the National Council of Negro Women to present the national and international concerns of Black women. She was not just an educator, she was a civil and women's rights activist.
Right.
right?
Yep.
She was concerned about the conditions of women. And she also played a significant role in President Franklin Delano Roosevelt's, I love that middle name, I just want to say that, Black Cabinet, where she was advising on issues that were affecting Black Americans and helping shape policy that would lead to greater racial equality. So she was very instrumental in a lot of the policies that shaped who we are and how we are living today.
Yep.
And I think people need to make sure that they are tuning in and picking up the history books, going online and learning about notable people in Black history and making sure that our children know these people, because in 20 years, Black history won't look the same because they're rewriting our narrative.
But
They're
okay,
rewriting our stories.
that's scary to me. I'm gonna just say this. Who the hell gets the right to do that? And why are we not saying something about it and doing something about it? Which brings us to your show and others who really look like us that should be telling this story. It's disgusting to me that we're having to have this conversation. Can I go here? Because see, I want to play the contrast today.
Yes,
So
do it.
how in the hell are we not? So like I'm paying attention, like the school board, there was a school board, I think it might have been in Indiana, wherever it was, decided with all these Black folks out here, the school board was all white and said, well, we vote to not have Black history anymore. We're not going to do whatever. Well, they recanted that because they got such backlash. And the parents are out there in the audience with these signs and da-da-da. First of all, this is what happens when we don't vote. Can we go here?
Ooh, period. You better say
it. We're not voting. We don't have a voice. But let's go even deeper. When we are not putting money behind the vote, we can't be packed 10, 12, 15, 54, nothing. We can't ask for anything when we're not greasing some palms. Let's just keep it 100 right here. Those are things that I've learned the older that I've gotten, that we keep asking for stuff, but ain't nobody going to back us up. Nobody's going to say, protect those Negroes, protect the African Americans, because they're
the African Americans.
The African Americans, right? So when we're talking about Jewish Americans, when we're talking about specific other groups that are getting the power that they need in Congress and on Capitol Hill and all of these other places, it's because they're cutting checks, folks.
That's right.
Tell somebody to forget the Holocaust and see how fast your ass get canceled.
Baby, you will get canceled
instantly. So fast. Ask Kanye.
So fast.
How he went from being a billionaire, and then I'm going to circle back. How he went from being a billionaire and in a day lost that status because you said something that was anti-Semitic. You can say anything anti-African American all day long. People do it all the time. They appropriate from our culture. They take our entertainment. They take our books. They take our art. They take everything, right? Yep. And then tell us you're not invited to the party. F you. It doesn't matter what you want, because we've always taken off of the backs of you guys since before we took you from your motherland, right? And mixed you with our blood. And so we don't, rarely can you find, and this is something Henry Louis Gates said. He said, rarely can you find anybody in the U.S. that was born here who's of African-American descent that does not have a white ancestor. All right. So all of that aside, so we're talking about a group of people that are misrepresented, underrepresented, and that are disenfranchised to the nth degree, been told to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Hell, we ain't got the boots. And so here we are, still trying to, in the 2000s, the 20 and the 24,000s, right? We are still trying to pull up, because a lot of us are still, I feel like the miseducation of Lauryn Hill. So, we're miseducated. We don't have a lot of the things that we need in terms of money. We're still learning. We're still growing, XYZ. But tell somebody that you want to forget the Holocaust. Get over it and see how fast your ass get fucking canceled. We're not forceful enough. We want everybody to fucking like us. Them folks done created their whole own community right here in the US of A, and you better not play with them. Right? They're going to take care of their own. Now, that doesn't mean that it's all healthy and hunky-dory over there. But my point is, going back to the history portion of what you're talking about, Mary McLeod Bethune, Stagecoach Mary, the people that we didn't learn about. And when they do take it to the movie, Stagecoach Mary is about the size of my finger. No, she was a big burly woman.
Right.
And she wasn't no young sister neither.
6 foot tall, strong. Okay. Don't play.
Right. She wasn't no young sister. So when we're talking about the true Black history, and then Mary McLeod Bethune wasn't a small woman. So we need to stop pretending that, you know, we were dainty and we were this, and there's nothing wrong with that. But they were big and strong and mighty in what they believed in.
That's
and
right.
And the hard part that I think that I'm having even now with Black history and stuff like that is they're telling us, they ain't asking us. They don't need our permission because we ain't fighting back.
We're not fighting back.
So they're telling us, screw your history. We're going to keep taking it, by the way, but screw your history. And my camera it's got me sitting really low. Screw your history. And we're going to take what we want and we're going to leave the bones for y'all.
That's
you do
it.
what you want to with it.
That's it.
We could talk about Malcolm X for a little bit. We could talk about Martin Luther King, but we don't want to know about the atrocities that were done to Black women in slavery. We don't want to talk about how if like you were saying earlier before I came on, we don't want to talk about how your children are so well behaved. Do you want to be my maid? And then if you say hell no, you got your ass whooped.
Yeah. Or talk about the fact that slavery, the cotton plantations weren't the most profitable plantations. The most profitable plantations were the breeding plantations. Right. How many Black people know that part of history, that you had, that we weren't even considered human? And do you know why they considered us 3/5 of a person? Do people know why that was? That was because it was illegal to commit the acts that they were committing against us. And by saying that we were less than human,
they gave them the
and
right.
treating us as cattle, it meant that they could do that legally to us. Yep. They had breeding grounds where when a girl started her cycle, she was put into to a stable like she was a goddamn horse or something.
Yep.
Her babies were called pups, like we a goddamn dog. And these are the things that they are trying to erase. Because now all of a sudden, y'all are embarrassed.
You ought to be. Hell.
You should be embarrassed.
You ought to be.
But
sitting up
you
in
have
here.
to be like other countries that make sure that they teach the atrocities so that the atrocities do not continue. Whereas you guys want to continue the atrocities.
Mm-hmm.
So you are trying to whitewash Black history.
They ain't trying to whitewash it. They trying not to talk about it because they don't want their children to feel bad. What? Our children are still living the effects of it
every day,
every single day. And you want your children to not know the atrocities that happened?
You know that. Girl, but I gotta do my station identification. For my boss to get mad at me. Thank you. You are tuning in to the Wake Up Happy Sis show on KCCR Cityscape Radio, where we're telling our stories our way. But are you listening? Give you a little bit of commercial break right here. Go and get going. Look, y'all need to learn about this anthology I got going on so you can become one of our selected authors. Let's see if it's going to work for me. It's not working for me, Paulette. Can you jump into mine and see if you can start it, Paulette? Because my computer is on a whole freeze. It's on a whole freeze, and I don't know what's going on.
Oh no, I'm in yours. This first one here, no.
The one that says "Wake Up Happy Sis" anthology commercial.
Oh, here it is.
Imagine a book that isn't just pages and words, but a journey of triumph, resilience, and empowerment. Welcome to the Wake Up Happy Sis Anthology, a collection of stories from Black women who turn trials into triumphs. Each chapter is more than a story. It's a piece of a larger narrative that speaks to the heart of every Black woman.
That's going on over
It's
there.
about overcoming, thriving, and finding joy in life's
Over
journey.
here in TikTok land.
This
Hope
anthology
you guys
is a
are enjoying.
celebration, a testament to the strength and spirit of women who faced life head on. Their stories are an inspiration, an invitation for you to rise, to heal, and to connect. Be a part of this extraordinary journey. Find your inspiration, your community, your voice in the Wake Up Happy Sis Anthology. Your story matters, and it's time the world hears it. Join us, share, inspire, empower, and always wake up happy, sis.
Ma'am.
You like my little, you I'm getting better at my stuff. I'm getting better at my stuff.
It's so cute.
Thank you. So
Yeah.
let's look at our next person.
Okay.
shall
Who we
So-
looking at?
Our next person is Fannie Lou Hamer. You know who Fannie Lou Hamer is?
You gonna tell me?
Yes. So Fannie Lou Hamer was born to, people keep calling me while I'm trying to do my show. Now stop it.
I mean, because they
Fannie- They need to stop though. Fannie Lou Hamer was born into a Mississippi sharecropping family, and she rose to national prominence as a civil rights activist. Her famous quote, "I am sick and tired of being sick and tired." Now, how many people have said that throughout the years? Probably don't even know that was her famous quote. But it echoes the sentiments of so many of us. And my computer is like, I really can't do anything today. Like, it is really on some I don't like Leanne shit today, and I don't know what's going on with me. Like, all my notes is all janked up and everything.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. We're going to endeavor to keep going because we ain't got no choice, right? But let's talk about the civil rights era and how many women that we had go through that. And one thing I want to state to just jump off topic or an adjacent topic, Black women have been one of the biggest leaders in the civil rights movement. We stand up for everybody else. We stand up for women's rights, but when it's time to stand up for Black women's rights, how many other communities really stand up with us? All of a sudden, they in the background, all of a sudden, they really, really quiet, right?
As a
How
man.
do we have to be the ones to stand up and be the foundation for everybody. And like Paulette said, the issue is we are letting things happen to us because we do not speak with our money. We do not come together as a community because we're so worried that somebody's going to have more than us or get something more than us out of this fight, out of this thing.
And I think it also comes down to something else that is really unfortunate. And you just said it best in the beginning. We're not talking with our money. We think just because we voted somebody in that's enough.
Period.
We're not understanding that number one, when we're not voting, we're leaving people in office that have been in office way too long, and we still having the same issues. Let's talk about what's happening in Chicago quickly. Chicago is allowing people from other countries to come to Chicago, and they're going in droves.
Imagine a book that isn't just pages and words. Uh-oh.
So it just started to play. That was probably from your end.
Probably just now catching up.
Kicking in. So they're allowing people to move to the state, and they're giving the families a $9,000 stipend, housing vouchers, and all kinds of things. And the local community is on fire. And we're talking about the local Black community, because this same Black community has been asking for help from the city of Chicago for eons. we're talking about a city that was created by a Black man. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
And Black folks can't get the support and the help, and not just Black folks, but others. But I was looking at one of the city councilmen. He was talking this morning, and he was saying how they're getting all of these dollars to Venezuelan immigrants that are coming in, and they can't get the support that they need. My issue is when we begin to put our money where our mouth is, those people that we want in office, we're going to see things move.
Yes.
When we talk about some of these organizations who are backing anti-abortion and getting rid of DEI and all of those things, and it's when we're talking about that, these people have been planning this for years. Like, this ain't new stuff for them. They already know it's going to take something that may not happen in their lifetime to occur, but as long as there is a strategy behind it and a check, they'll get what they want. And what we don't seem to understand is as long as we continue to keep begging with our hand out, we're not going to get what we need. We're not going to get what we want.
Facts.
And we're going to continue to see the foolishness and the tomfoolery that we're seeing with our state and our local communities, and even on the federal level. It's just unfortunate. It really is.
It is, because what we're not seeing is the fact that these changes that are coming about, like you said, are not new, and they get what a lot of us don't get. That the changes that they are fighting for now are not for their lifetime. It's for future generations. They're trying to solidify and change history so that they come out looking like the great white hope. And I hate to say it like that, but that's real.
Well, that's what it is.
Right? That's what they're coming to look like. But we have women in our history who led the charge to change that. We have to become like those women again. And that's where we're getting stuck. We're so concerned with, oh, I might lose my job. Oh, I might. Do you know that when things went down and when they did the boycott, Montgomery bus boycotts, it was women who led those charges. Right? The girl who actually started it, it wasn't Rosa Parks.
No.
Rosa Parks was the face. It was a 15-year-old girl who first said she was not giving up her seat, and she was doing it as an activist. Right? Rosa Parks was the notable one that came up. But you also had women who led the charge for making sure that people ate, because as those women who were the house cleaners and maids and nannies, or what do you call them, the servants or whatever, for the white people, when they found out that they were taking a part in the bus boycott, they were firing people. And it was women who took up the charge to say, what's going to happen is we're going to feed these families. We're going to make sure that you are okay. Because we learned how to come together as a community, and somewhere along the way we've lost that. So the reason I'm doing today's show is because what I want us to have is that fire and that desire for our community once again. We've lost it somewhere along the way. Where are our Fannie Lou Hamers? Where are our Mary McLeod Bethunes?
You're looking at them.
Well, you're right.
You're looking at them. We can't ask. Here's my thing. We cannot.
We don't ask what we don't give.
Right. So I cannot ask where they at when I'm a Black woman myself. That's number one. So
well, no, we can ask, but you can't ask if you're not doing anything in
that part
to make the change.
That
but
part.
We're not ones who are not doing anything, Paulette.
Right.
This show, this station, the whole Brownstone Worldwide movement and network is a testament to us trying to make change in our way. Now, I may not be a person who's going to be like on a front line somewhere.
Right. Sometimes you don't have to be. That was the thing about women. Sometimes they didn't, back then culturally, we were in the back end. Oh, my sister done froze up. Lord have mercy.
Girl, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you froze.
Yeah, I see myself froze. Like I can see you just fine now. Like I told
you, your internet is just slow over there today. It's just slow go. So what I will say while Leanne adjusts her camera is to her point, we cannot ask for anyone to do anything for us that we would not be willing to do for ourselves. And I think ultimately at the end of the day, that is the most important thing when we are talking about being a part of a movement at all. And that's where Brownstone Worldwide comes in. So I'll talk about Brownstone Worldwide briefly while we are taking our quick break and having Leanne come back to her show. So one of the things that Brownstone Worldwide prides itself on is providing a platform for Black folks, especially, but urban professionals and folks who want to find out what's happening in the world. Brownstone Worldwide is there for you for that. So you can head over to brownstoneworldwide.com and you can check out what we have. You notice that I'm sitting behind the Cityscape Radio logo. And right now it is a podcasting platform that does play music occasionally, right? If there is not any podcast show happening, that is what happens in the Brownstone. So cityscaperadio.com, and you can also download the Cityscape Radio app on either your Android or your iOS devices. A lot of people don't know that. And then we also have, lastly, let me see if I can pull up an issue here. And ultimately what I should have done was I should have loaded. Oh, I can't do that because if I do that, then it's going to knock out. So here's what I'll do. I will load while Leanne returns. I'm going to load this month's cover for Brownstone Living Magazine so you guys can see who is on the cover of Brownstone Living Magazine. And we're really, really, really excited about this. Hold on. All right. So I'm loading the cover while she comes back. And I want to share with you who is on the cover of Brownstone Living Magazine for the month of February, which is coming up. And this is what Leanne was talking about in terms of making sure that we continue to share our voice. And we use Brownstone Worldwide for that. And so here is the cover for Brownstone Living Magazine for the month of February. So here we are. This is, of course, the one and only DeJuan Johnson. Leanne is down here dancing. She done pop back in. DeJuan Johnson is also known as Detective Pierce on Bosch, which actually ran for 7 years on Amazon. It was one of their #1 shows for 7 years running. And he was also on Grey's Anatomy, and he was nominated for an Emmy for that performance. And so he's on our cover. I actually did interview him for this month's issue. And so it's a video, audio, and also the article, which will be in Brownstone Living Magazine. We got some amazing cover issues for him. I don't know why you won't bring yourself back on the screen, ma'am. So
I'm trying to set some things up. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, I'm gonna drop you back down.
Thank you.
Okay.
It was working.
Did you? Okay. All right. And then she gonna fuss. So yes, we are really, really, really excited about that. Excited to have DeJuan to be a part of what we're doing here. I could not be more excited to have DeJuan be a part of what we're doing. And he is going to be joining the Brownstone. So we're excited about that. We're really, really excited. And so I would encourage you all, if you have not checked out brownstoneworldwide.com, I would encourage you to do it today. Check out this clip from our interview. Check this out and what he had to say.
I'm going to be honest. I prayed for these moments of that level in my career that somebody would appreciate my work, like I do. So being on it it's been a dream. It's been a dream, and going on to do the spinoffs has been a dream.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, you don't know about the spinoffs?
Yeah, well, actually, I do. Actually. So, yeah.
You're in it. You're in it now. You're in it.
I'm in. I'm invested, and it's over with. I close the door. The kids don't bother me because I wanted to really get into it, and so I was kind of sad when Bosch ended. Even though we know that I did like an entire, like I think over a weekend, I watched everything. Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes I was cooking and watching it, or I was, doing laundry and listening in and so forth. But I got it in, and so as a viewer, the disappointment is the season was over, and so there you go, DeJuan Johnson. To check out the full episode of Brownstone's Best Business Review, you can head over to brownstoneworldwide.com/BWTV to take a look at the full interview, which will air on Monday, February 5th at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. Welcome back, Leah.
I'm back, but now I can't end my live on Instagram. I don't know what it's just a one big clusterfuck today, but it's okay because what I'm not about to let it do is stop me from what I'm doing here. Because when the enemy tries to stop us, what do? We keep going. Mm-hmm. We keep going. I want to get back to talking a little bit about Fannie Lou Hamer just really quickly, mm-hmm. right? Because what we're talking about now is we have to be the ones to take up the charge, to take up the fight. And that doesn't mean that you're always on a front line. You have to find the way to be an activist in your own way. Right? Are you sharing the news? Are you going to events? Are you speaking out when you see injustice? Right? We have to be ready to be on our own version of the front line, mm-hmm. to help our community. Right. Because if we don't, I'm already saying most times, nobody else is coming to save us.
That part.
Nobody is coming to save us. Now I want to move on because we've got more great women to talk about. And I want to talk about some modern day people, some of our modern day mavericks, like people like Paulette. Y'all don't know Dr. Claw, but people like Paulette, right? Now we're going to start with, and I know some people may feel some kind of way about her, but Kamala Harris. Mm. Okay. Mm. Now, regardless of what we feel, she's
black. Oh, shut up, Paulette.
Stop it. She is the first female, first Black and first South Asian American vice president of these United States. Hmm. Now, while I have my own views about Kamala and her lack of presence, we'll call it her lack of presence in speaking on issues that affect Black women, that affect women, we have to give her some grace because as the vice president of the United States, she's over the whole United States for everybody. But damn it, you're Black. You need to speak on Black initiatives as well.
You sure about that?
I'm not. Stop it. Oh. Stop it. What I'm going to say is she has some barrier-breaking moments in her political career, right? Mm-hmm. It does symbolize strides for Black women, regardless of how you feel about her. And I'm not here to make this about my own personal views, right? Which is why I put her out here, because this ain't about me. This is about something larger than me. And while I may not agree or feel that she has done enough in support of Black women's initiatives, especially around our health, because we are still dying at alarming rates from things like childbirth, right? She is still a Black woman that is making strides in leadership roles that have traditionally been held by white men. Mm-hmm. So we do have to give her her props for that. And now we're moving on.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
So we also have Black women like my personal favorite, Simone Biles. Yes. Okay. Extraordinary athlete. She's not only a record-breaking gymnast who has moves made after her,
Yeah.
because she is doing things that nobody else can do.
Right.
But she is a vocal advocate for mental health and athletes' rights. Her decision to prioritize her mental health at the Tokyo Olympics brought worldwide attention for its importance in mental health, right? And it showed other young athletes that they can focus on their um, mental health as well.
Mm-hmm.
Who was she's Black and Asian, um, who took a step back from tennis.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I
Her
forgot.
name is right on the tip of my tongue, but y'all know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Because what I love is that we're putting an emphasis on our health and our wellness. And they say the young shall lead the way. And I love it because they are. Now, whether you agree with her relationship with her man or not, get out they business.
Yeah, I didn't know we was in people business like that. What
Yeah,
I will say.
we are so in people's business. It's ridiculous.
Mhm.
Let these people live. If she's happy and he's happy, I don't give a good goddamn about. And I didn't say
Huh?
God, I said a good goddamn about their personal lives. I got too much going on in my own life to be so super focused on hers and trying to judge her and judge him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I love her because baby girl is breaking all the barriers. That's like my boo Serena. When you talk about Simone, you could talk about Serena
Yeah.
and all the trials and tribulations and things that they've had to go through as phenomenal Black female athletes, and who are always outspoken and vocal advocates for Black women's and women's rights, right? We have to pay homage to these wonderful people. Now, if we talk about, because I'm a science, I'm a STEM girl, but Dr. Mae Jemison, come on with it.
Yeah. You're right.
Engineer, physician, former NASA astronaut,
Mm-hmm.
made
That
history
girl.
as the first Black woman, to travel in space aboard the Space Shuttle Endeavour in 92.
Mm-hmm.
She was an advocate for science education, particularly for minorities and young girls.
Uh-huh.
And to me, she's one of those beacons of light that our young girls need to see, especially because she was a STEM baby.
Mm-hmm.
Science, technology, engineering, math, and now it's STEAM because they've added arts in.
Okay.
But I want young girls to know that it's okay to be smart. It is okay to be considered a nerd. I'm technically somewhat considered a nerd,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with it. I love it. Can't nobody take that from me,
Yeah.
right? I want our young girls to know you don't have to play dumb, dim your light, water down who you are to
Not at
make
all.
anybody else feel more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
A light doesn't dim another light. They just
Right.
shine brightly together.
Right.
And that's what I want our girls to know.
Right.
And the final person I want to talk about in my new area is Rihanna. And I know people are like, why you ain't talking about Beyonce? Beyonce, I love B too. B is breaking down all kind of barriers. But Beyonce is who people I think would assume I should talk about. The reason I want to talk about Rihanna is because she has gone from being a music icon to being such a business mogul, and she is such an outspoken
Right.
women's rights person. If you listen to her, she's always out there supporting other women's causes. Oh, you are one bad bitch and you're blah, right? She's always doing that. But if you know anything about her, you know that Savage Fenty Beauty, right? She overtook what's the Kardashians brand?
Which one?
The beauty one, the young one.
Oh yeah.
Kylie,
Kylie's.
right? She overtook that. And
Mhm.
she made beauty products for our skin tone, not like what we normally get from others, which is pasty brown or it's too red, and they don't even cover shades for dark skinned women.
Mm-hmm.
The lowest they usually go is paper bag brown,
Mm-hmm.
right? But she revolutionized that because she said what we're going to do is we're going to make quality products for women of color, and we're going to give them shades that reflect their beauty. Baby. And then she came up with, then she not only did that, she said, but wait, I ain't done. Let me get you with this lingerie. Now let me get you with activewear.
Yeah.
And what I love about her is she doesn't just use those size 2 models.
No.
You see every skin tone, every ethnicity, every size. She puts people with disabilities in there, and
Love
not
it.
to make a buck, but because this is who she is as a person. She really believes in equality and creating products and opportunities for everyone equally,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? Like, come on. If that ain't the definition of a bad, ooh, shut your mouth.
You
I
amazing.
don't know what is.
Yeah.
But her journey from being an artist to an entrepreneur, it just exemplifies innovation and the power that we have to redefine ourselves
Mm-hmm.
across industries. We have to stop looking at ourselves as I'm just this one thing,
Right.
just a teacher, I'm just a, you don't have to look at, you could be whatever the hell you want to be these
Right.
days.
Right.
We've kicked down so many doors. We have broken down so many barriers, right? But we've got locally Stacey Abrams. I love her too,
Mm-hmm.
right? Women that fight.
Yeah.
The
And not
CEO,
only
look, the CEO of the Walgreens Boots Alliance, Rosalind Brewer. Like, I didn't even get through all the people I wanted to talk through today because we had our technology problems. But
yeah.
I just want y'all to know that Black women have always been trailblazers. We've always been innovators. We've always been leaders. We've always been intelligent. So never let somebody dim your light and water down your excellence, because we sprinkle in Black girl magic dust all 2024 and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
We're done playing small.
All right now.
We're done playing small. If I leave you with nothing else, because today I got to end on time today, I want you to remember you are part of this magnificent legacy, this heritage. The courage, creativity, and resilience of the Black women that I've talked about today flows through every single one of our veins.
Yeah.
Okay. You also have the power to influence. You have the power to innovate. You have the power to inspire, to heal, to bring forth your own miracles.
Right. Right.
Don't let their stories be the end of our Black history.
Right.
Your story needs to be told. Y'all heard the commercial, so you know what we're talking about. Your story needs to be told. So I want to make sure that in the spirit of all these remarkable women that we celebrate, I need you to pledge to uplift each other, to continue breaking down barriers, to continue speaking out for what's right and what's needed in our community, and to keep the heartbeats of all our Black women in history and their love and strength and vitality and tenacity and resilience. Keep that flowing through your blood, flowing through your mind, in
Yeah.
your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And let's get out there and do the work that needs to be done.
Amen.
Any last words you would like to share, Paulette, Dr. Clark?
No, I don't have any last words except to kind of, piggyback on what you said, which is each one of us can impact in our own way, because we never know who we're going to touch to be the major factor, but one begets the other, and it really comes down to the entanglement theory that says that we are all connected on a cellular level. And so we impact each other, whether we realize it or not. So we have to be intentional with what we impact people with. And so,
Correct.
happy Black History Month, even
Yeah.
though Black History is every day.
That's what I said. Our Black history is 365, baby.
Yeah.
But happy Black History Month. And make sure that you head over to brownstoneworldwide.com, sign up for the newsletter, sign up for that fabulous magazine, because you saw my little brother, Dewan, looking like a whole snack cake on that cover. I was like, boy, you know you fan. You better stop it. You better stop. Yes,
That part.
yes. Make sure you
Yes.
sign up. And if you would like to be a personality on the show, you need to head on over to Brownstone Worldwide and make your presence known. Paulette, Dr. Clark, has Brownstone Podcasting University. She can help you learn how to become a fabulous host like me. Mwah, like mom.
Amen and amen.
So we got to head on out. I want to thank y'all for being with me, for rocking with me all the time. We will be back on Monday with another fabulous episode live. So make sure you stay tuned in to KCCR Cityscape Radio, brownstoneworldwide.com, and wakeuphappysys.com. We will see y'all later.
Bye.
Oh, where's my look? See when you ain't ready. Because I was like, where's my
All right.
Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Wake Up Happy Sis on